Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is a real somber episode. We lost it,
Icon?
can I call him an icon or
I would, definitely.
an icon, a legend? Whatever set of roses you want to bestow upon the great Chadwick Boseman, who passed away after a 4-year battle with colon cancer. It was just shocking. And I guess it all ties into what social media saw a couple of months back when we saw photos of him with a drastic weight weight loss. You heard rumors that it was for a particular role, or he could have been sick, but it wasn't anything nice being said. But now looking back at it, you even had comedians that were making jokes about it. But now looking back on these past 4 years, is that he was putting up a battle with colon cancer, and he didn't want anybody's sympathy, and he didn't let the world know.
So yeah, it's very sad. I mean, when I heard about it, I honestly thought it was like a fake story. I started to read. I first heard about it in the Hollywood Reporter, then Variety, and it was
Really?
just yeah.
You thought it was fake, even with those are reputable publications.
No, no, I'm sorry,
You
no,
were
no.
hearing it.
First I just saw it like being tweeted in general.
Got you.
And then once I started reading on the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, it was just like, oh wow, this is like really, I can't believe this is happening. He had so much more to give to everyone. And I knew that something was wrong because he was so skinny, but I also felt like, we would have been notified, like his fans, just everyone would have been notified if it was something that serious.
That was the furthest thing from my mind when I saw the photos of him with the drastic weight loss. I thought he was doing it for a role. Him having colon cancer, because that whole concept is sometimes lost on us, that celebrities and stars, they are vulnerable to the same things that everyday people are.
Very true. Very true. So yeah, it's honestly, it's still like hard to process that, he was a relatively young man, and his career, I mean, his career wasn't starting, but he really had so much more to give.
I mean, shit,
And
for the last 10 years, every historical African American,
yeah,
he's played him.
yeah. I mean, for the younger generation, I mean, he's the face of all of these older
Hmm.
historic African American civil rights, models.
Icons.
Yeah,
Think
definitely.
about it. Jackie Robinson, James Brown,
Mhm.
and damn, what's the Supreme Court justice name?
Thurgood Marshall.
Thurgood Thurgood Marshall, yes,
Yeah, you know. I mean,
and T'Challa.
well, T'Challa is who we would like to have been real. And speaking of T'Challa, the impact that Black Panther had on the African American community, he was a part of that. He was a part of African American audiences or people of African descent in general seeing like this world of African success, this world of African American, of people of African descent, not having been colonized, not having been oppressed, and in this position of, everyone else wanting their help or wanting their technology, wanting their knowledge, wanting their culture, you know. And I mean, he was a part of that. Like when you think of Wakanda, you think of T'Challa, you think of Chadwick Boseman.
You think of what the symbolism is behind it. You look at it, a thriving African country, not having to ask anybody for anything. Tech, tech, technological advances in every state of living.
Yeah, yeah.
They are the real only superpower.
The crazy thing is, it's like, we talk about just Black Panther, the movie, like what that's done for the African American community, but like we also have to talk about what Chadwick Boseman himself brought to the film, like his performance. He put a lot of research and effort into helping develop the dialect that they chose, and I believe it was a South African dialect that he chose
I
for
was watching
Wakandans.
I was watching a tribute video, and they said that I think it was Ryan Coogler saying that he saw the scene in Captain America Civil War in which T'Challa was speaking with his father, and they were speaking in their native tongue. And what the director told Ryan Coogler then was that they learned that particular language
Yeah,
the same day.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
He's a professional. He was very professional. He took it very seriously, and I feel like he probably knew what like Black Panther, just the character alone, was going to represent for the community.
the symbolism
Yeah,
behind it, whereas you look at Black Panther, he's a real superhero, like in the same vein in which you think of Batman, you think of Captain America. He was in that, this is one for us. Usually when you see a Black person in those sort of films, they're usually the sidekick or the scientist or
right,
hoodlum number one.
right.
you know,
Yeah,
they are never the focal point of the whole film.
yeah. No, yeah. Honestly, his performance and Black Panther as a whole has changed just the presence of it gave us hope or just a dream, a vision of what could be.
And it also made Hollywood take notice. Well, you know what? Well, wow. Even though it feels like they forgot about Will Smith, that if we cast a African American in one of these sort of roles, the masses will come out and see it.
Yeah. I mean, so okay. So I have a question for you. Do you think they will recast Black Panther, or do you think they're going to end the series? I have my opinions on what they'll do, but what do you think Marvel's going to do going forward?
I think they're going to do two things. Either I think if it's two options, so I guess I'm checking it out. I'm giving you one answer. My first choice would be they recast the role.
Okay. Okay.
Second choice would be if they pass it on to his sister, Shuri.
Ah. Okay. Okay. I
I can't see them ending Black on Panther. I
No,
just can't see it.
they wouldn't, they definitely wouldn't end the series because like it made all of the monies, and so that's just not a good business plan. But I do believe that they may, like, because in the comics, Dr. Doom attacks T'Challa, like he tricks him and he attacks him, and T'Challa goes into a coma for a long period of time, and during that time, Shuri takes up the mantle as Black Panther. It is, there is precedent for Shuri specifically being the Black Panther, and I feel like the actress, which I feel bad that I cannot remember her name, but the actress,
Letitia Jones,
oh, is it Letitia Jones? Um,
Lolita, something like that. I
okay,
forgot.
well the actress that is currently playing Shuri, she's lovable, she's funny, she's charming, she's witty. I think she could seamlessly take over the role of Black Panther, and she will. She has the star the what is it, the star quality, the star ability to make it, for it to be good, for her, for it to, she can carry the series. In my opinion, I think she can
Yes.
do it. Um, because I think it's going to be a hard thing to recast. It's one thing like how they recast Rhodey, because Letitia Wright, her name is Letitia Wright. So yes,
Letitia Wright.
Letitia Wright, we are putting all of our faith in you. We know you can do this. We
The
know you can
only
do Chadwick proud.
the only hurdle that I see in that, before Chadwick Boseman was the Black Panther, he has a track record of being a leading man.
That's true. That's true. But I mean,
Whereas
mhm.
she's played in other films, but she hasn't had the responsibility of carrying another film.
True, but I feel like she's loved. Like everyone loved her in Black Panther, and so I feel like she.
It's always easier to love. For all intents and purposes, she was his sidekick
Mhm. Right,
in the
but
film.
now I think it would even be very easy to write that as an obstacle for her, like an obstacle to become the leader, to become the star, to become the Black Panther, and that be what the whole story is about. It's not even about a big bad coming in, but about no one respects her.
So
I think she could do it.
essentially, second, well, we never received a Black Panther, a prequel, so to
Right,
speak.
right.
This will be the opportunity to actually have it.
Yeah,
To
like give us
see,
real details into
yes,
what it takes to actually become that. I think it's an opportunity for her to like do Chadwick proud and to just kind of, and also it would be a huge step for Black women, which is very important.
and then you kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't have a huge roster of female superheroes.
Yep, exactly. And now this would be like she's not only the leader of her people of an advanced society, but she is a Black woman. I mean, you know, take my money, take all of my money. But yeah, I think that would be the smart way to go. But that being said, if you had to, if you had to, our producer is saying also bring in Anthony Mackie, which you know
You
I don't know
really
about
can't.
that. But if you had to replace him, who would you replace him with?
Eva, I thought about it a lot. David Washington.
Oh yes, yes, nice. Okay, I have nothing.
David,
I have nothing to say. Yep, perfect
David
casting.
Washington,
Yep.
or the actor that
And just to be
Chadwick
clear,
Boseman,
John David Washington.
John David Washington.
Yep. Mhm.
Also, the actor that played opposite Chadwick Boseman in one of his last films, 21 Bridges.
Oh, I heard there was talk of him too. I I mean I saw him
Only
in.
reason why I may not be able to see David Washington, because David Washington stars like this now.
Yeah,
And
he's like a
and
huge megastar
I'm not sure if he would want to tie himself
to Marvel.
to Marvel, because think
Yeah,
about it. Chris Evans was, he wasn't, his star wasn't, he was
yeah,
a Hollywood.
they were known, but they
They
weren't like
went, yeah,
legends. Yeah,
they weren't shooting up.
yeah. Um,
Like,
but I think John David Washington has the gravitas. He has the charisma, which is very important. And I think he's just this like he can bring that seriousness to it. And yeah, I think he'd be perfect. The other guy, I knew him from it was a Julia Roberts season 1. Season 2 was
oh,
Janelle Monáe.
that movie on Hulu, that TV series on Hulu.
Is it Hulu or is it Apple? Yeah, I think it's
No, it's Amazon.
yes, Amazon.
Damn, I keep on
Home
forgetting his name.
home something. I don't know, but yeah, he was okay in that, but I don't feel like he would be able to follow Chap because what we it wouldn't just be is he good as the Black Panther? It's can he follow Chadwick? And the only person out of the two people you mentioned is John David Washington. It's like he can
But the
follow him.
whole, but the whole thing, he can't be Chadwick. He would have
Yeah,
to be himself
and
because
that
once yeah, Stephen James.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I I don't see
I
him
would
as it.
say maybe him because, like I said, David Washington is about to be. In Hollywood, we are only allowed two blacks at a time, two black leading men, two black comedians only at a time. We can't have any more than that. So it can't be Michael B. Jordan.
Right.
So
Maybe
even though
Yahya Abdul Mateen, even though he's with DC. I mean, maybe like he wouldn't be bad. I still like John David Washington better, but Yahya Abdul Mateen, maybe.
I
I mean, he
didn't even
was
think
Dr.
about him.
Manhattan, and he did well. He was a great Dr. Manhattan. You know?
I didn't even think about him.
Yeah. So um,
Winston Duke.
that's M'Baku. But no, they'd never
Nah.
know. They would never. He's from the Jabari tribe. They would never move him there. So that being said, we talked about Chadwick. We've been trying to remember him and honor him. What do you have any final thoughts?
Go get tested. I mean, the thing about Chadwick is that colonoscopy, you're not really scheduled to receive them until you're at the age of 45. So meaning that he had to be showing some symptoms or something in his blood that made them give him a colonoscopy. You know, especially minority men, we get freaked out about doctors going back in that area like something's gonna happen to us. But listen, you're supposed to get checked out, especially if you have health insurance, it's coming out of your check every month, whether you go to the doctor or not. When you are 30, you're supposed to get your first prostate check. When you are 45, you're supposed to get your first colonoscopy. If you feel anything, you got any blood in your stool or anything going on back there that you feel shouldn't be going on, any questions, ask your doctor. You know, if you're showing some symptoms or some sort of signs, the earlier they detect anything, the better they could fight it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you said it all. Like, really, that's the most important thing. I mean, you know, Chadwick Boseman was an icon. He was, you know, influential. He was, you know, very special to the entire community, but to everyone. But what we as people of color, as men of color, should take notice of is like how he was young and how this is something that affects us at a higher rate. And, you know, because we don't think about these things, we need to take the time to get ourselves checked out.
Exactly.
All right. This has been a somber Two Brothers at a Water Cooler video. You know, take care, everyone.
Good night.
You've been listening to Two Brothers at a Water Cooler with Mike and Tom, produced by Jamie Fernandez and Peter Bune. Rate and review this show on Apple Podcasts, and you might find your review in a future episode.